Hi, my name is Ame, and this video is going over how to find the right explainer video freelancer for you. In this video, I'll be going over where to look for freelancers when you're looking online, what to look for when you're trying to hire a freelancer, working with freelancers who don't have a track record, and once you do decide to hire a freelancer, what kind of things you should discuss in your contract. So to start, before you can start looking for a freelancer to make your video, you need to decide what it is you want from your video. What kind of style are you looking for? How long should it be? Is this going to be an animation video? Is this going to be a live action? Is this a tutorial? Is this for promotional purposes? And also what kind of budget you're willing to dedicate to this project. What's a reasonable budget? If you're using an agency, a video explainer agency, you want to have a budget of starting at about $1,000 is the on the low end of what I've seen, all the way up to $10,000 or more per minute. So if you have that kind of budget and you want to hire an agency, go for it. They make fantastic videos. They've got dedicated project managers, and you're going to get what you're looking for. If you don't have that kind of budget, that's okay. You can still find a really good freelancer, a really skilled freelancer, who can deliver your project to you within your budget. So determine what you're looking for and then how much you can spend on your project. So when you decide to start looking for the freelancer, where can you look? Some websites you can look at are Upwork.com and Freelancer.com. Both of these are platforms to connect clients with freelancers. What's great about them is that you have freelancers of various skills and costs, and you can post your project requirements, and then you can also post your budget, and then wait for people to bid on your project. Once they bid on it, you look through the proposals, and then you interview the ones that you're interested in, and then you can start a contract through the website. Some possible downsides to this is that there is a verification process for accounts, but there's not a verification process for skills. So you do need to assess the freelancers based on their samples, their ratings, and how they communicate with you. Also, there are so many freelancers on this website that it could be difficult to choose one for you. It could be a bit overwhelming. There are also agencies like Video Brewery that they do make explainer videos, but what they do is they contract freelancers. So it's and all the freelancers on that site are design specialists. So they specialize in what you're looking for, videos. So you can contact them and say, these are my project requirements, this is my budget, and then the freelancers that they contract can bid on your project as well. The pros of this: everyone on there has the skills that you're looking for. And an additional bonus is if you want to be a freelancer with them, they call them creatives, there is an application process. So someone has probably checked what they do and how they do it before they're available to bid on your project. So that's nice if you're not really sure where to start. Some possible downsides: the cost could be a little bit higher than what you're looking for, and it could be a little bit higher than what you might find on a site like Upwork, but cheaper is not always better. What is a reasonable budget to have when you're hiring a freelancer? I would say plan to have $200, $250 as your starting rate, possibly all the way up to like $800, maybe even $1,000. Your budget will depend on, like I said, what you're looking for from your video, but it would be unreasonable to try and get like a 3-minute custom animation video with script writing, voiceover, and like full music soundtrack for $25. So just be realistic with your expectations on your budget. Don't try to get a video that should cost about $500 for the price of like $80. That's going to undermine your relationship with your freelancer. You're probably not going to get what you're looking for. And the freelancer is going to be a lot less willing to work on your project if they feel like you're severely underpaying them and then asking a lot. Okay, so what to look for in the freelancer when you are trying to find one? The first thing, how much of your project can the freelancer deliver? Now, ideally, if you need to have a script written, a video, and voiceover done, ideally you want to have a freelancer who can do it all. That's not always going to be the case. That may not always be possible. So ask the freelancer how much of the project they can deliver. If they can do it all, great. If they can't, you might need to contract some of that out to other freelancers. And if you're going to do that, you need to be really organized to kind of coordinate everyone, because there could be possible discrepancies in quality. There could be each freelancer might look at your project in a different way. So you need to be really diligent about making sure that everything is consistent. Also, make sure to look at samples before you hire someone. Some freelancers will bid on your project with samples provided. So have a look at those. If they don't provide it and you're interested in them, ask them for some samples. Try to ask for something that's related to your project. Either it's like a similar project or the style is the same. So for example, if you're looking for a tutorial video, ask them for a sample of a tutorial that they've made. Okay, next, ask them about their process. Their samples are going to be most telling of their skills, but their process is going to be most telling of their communication and organization skills. It's not enough to just have a skilled freelancer. You need to have a skilled freelancer who also has good communication and organization skills. It's going to make working with them much easier. Also, ask them about their terms of service. This is going to tell you what they offer and how they offer it. And it's also a really good time to discuss what you're looking for and clarify your expectations. Some issues I've seen where expectations aren't really communicated have to do with things like source files and commercial rights. So with source files, think of like Adobe files, design files. So as a freelancer is making your project, they'll make files and they'll include it into your video. Some clients will say at the end of the project, oh yeah, I need all of your files, all of your design files, your Adobe files for this project, or I'm not going to pay you for it. Now, usually when you commission a project, you're usually commissioning the final product. So the whole video or the whole poster, PDF, or whatever it is that you're getting made. If you want the source files, you should ask for them up front. The designer is going to probably be thinking, these are my design files, therefore I don't want to share them with you unless you are willing to buy them or unless you make it clear up front that this is what you're looking for. Under US copyright law, the design files do belong to the designer. So if you do want them, discuss it with the freelancer up front. Commercial rights. When you buy a video, when you commission a project, just make sure to check that when the price that you're paying also includes the buying of the commercial rights. So most freelancers will tell you up front, this is my price and this is for the commercial rights, but just make sure to double check. So like, for example, I use GoAnimate to make my videos. And when I bid on a project, I say, this is how much it is to make the video. And then GoAnimate charges a $79 fee to transfer commercial rights from me to you. I won't include it in the price of the whole video. I do clarify it as a separate expense. But just make sure to ask the price that they're giving you, does it include the commercial rights or is there an additional cost to buy the rights? That will just save you any headache up front. The next thing to look for, references. If the freelancer has references, check them. Or if they have testimonials, check them. It's going to be most telling of how they've worked with people beforehand. And that'll give you an idea of how they're going to work with you. If you see that they're getting, high ratings, your project's probably going to be, they're probably going to be pretty easy to work with. If you're seeing that they're consistently getting like low ratings and it's for like poor communication or meeting deadlines, that's something you want to know before you commit to a project with someone. Okay. But what if the freelancer doesn't have a track record for you? What if the freelancer doesn't have a track record for you to look at? All freelancers have a starting point. So maybe they're new to these freelancing websites and maybe they don't have a track record yet. Ask them for samples. Hopefully they should have samples. If they don't have samples, ask them to do like a test sample. Most freelancers starting out will be okay with doing a test sample because they know that they don't really have the track record to kind of help them. So most of them are willing to do this. Some clients will pay for a test sample, some of them will not. So just make sure to clarify what you're looking for, make sure it's a reasonable task, and if you are compensating it or not. Okay. Next, when you organize your contract with your freelancer, what are some things that you should think about or discuss so that you have a successful contract? One thing would be payment. That's probably the biggest thing. With my contracts, I like to have the payment done in milestones. So I'm on Upwork, and that's actually where I found out that this was a thing. So I like to have my projects done by that. Why? Because you can fund the project incrementally, so it's less risk for both parties, and it helps build trust. So when I do a project and I'm, say, writing the script, doing the storyboarding, making the video, and doing the voiceover, I'll probably have like a milestone for script writing and storyboarding. So I'll do that project, I'll make the revisions as necessary, and once the client is happy with it, they will approve the milestone, and then the funds will be released to me. So what's nice about this is because I know I can work on one part at a time, and when they're happy with it, I'll get some payment. We've all heard horror stories of either people not paying for projects or freelancers kind of getting payment and then just like running off with the money. By funding the project step by step, you as the client have less risk because you're not paying for the full project. And you can also release the money when you're happy with it. For the freelancer, it also gives them some peace of mind because they know, they're putting a lot of time and effort working on pieces of this. So they don't want to have to like hand you the whole project and then just hope that you pay them. Because sometimes that happens. Clients will just disappear for days on end and you're like, are you going to pay me or not? With some of the freelancing websites like Upwork, with these milestones, once you fund the milestone, if you don't release the payment, but the money is already there and the freelancer has submitted work, it'll automatically release the funds to the freelancer in 14 days. But that doesn't really set a good kind of relationship between you and the freelancer. So this way does allow you to build some trust. And if the freelancer trusts you more, they're probably more willing to work on your project or put more time into it. But if you approve a milestone, you give your final approval, you release the funds, can you still ask for updates or revisions? Most freelancers understand that there's going to be some like small revisions throughout the project before it's finished. And when I get final approval on a project and then someone's like, oh, sorry, could we just change one or two things? I'm okay with that. They gave their final approval, they released the payment. I feel more willing to work on it and make those revisions. And it's also before the end of the project. The only time it's really a problem is if you have like major revisions that do require them to basically just redo the entire work. If you do need to make major revisions, I would recommend setting up another milestone to compensate them for those updates. Okay. Also, give yourself and the freelancer a reasonable out of your contract. Sometimes you start off a project and you're like, this is going to be really great. And then you get into the project and you're like, actually, this is not what I'm looking for. Or maybe I found someone else that can do this a little bit better. So just make sure to discuss upfront what you want to do if you want to cancel the project or if the freelancer wants to cancel the project. It's much easier to discuss these things and decide upon them before you start working together than, if you say, oh, never mind, I changed my mind. I want to cancel this project. And the freelancer's like, I've just done, 50 hours of work for you kind of thing. So in conclusion, check, do the freelancer skills match your project? Communicate your needs and expectations clearly and ask them about theirs too before you start working on the project. And if you're worried about working with this freelancer, especially if it's someone you've worked with for the first time, pay in stages for peace of mind. It'll give you peace of mind. It'll also give the freelancer peace of mind. So thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to get my free explainer video PDF, please visit www.almayproedy.com/signup.